I think if you look at any of the lads in this video, and you look, say, at the war, the lad that carried the flag or the emblem of the club or the country, if that lad got shot, but any of these lads in the video, I think you'd bank on them. You wouldn't even need to turn around to see who's running with the flag.
Running with the flag for Arsenal is the final member of our elite club of hard men, Peter Storey, a double winner with the Gunners in 1970-71. Storey was the bogeyman to a whole generation of top strikers, and his contribution to the Arsenal team, which became only the third side in football history to take the league and cup double, can't be overestimated. He was one of the few members of that team to become an established international, gaining 19 England caps between 1970 and 73. Storey helped form the backbone of that double side, which, although never acknowledged for its pure ability, was resilient and tough. Storey was beset by personal problems years later, but by contrast off the field he was known as the quiet member of that highly successful Arsenal team.
Lorimer, Hartford, foul by Storey. Hartford exacted retribution, but he's got the free kick.
He was never known as a regular goal scorer, but Storey produced two of the most dramatic in the double season. A couple to bring Arsenal back level with Stoke in the FA Cup semi-final and keep their double dream alive.
I'm definitely the opposite to Gary Lineker, because Gary Lineker's never been booked. So where's, you know, to me, the passion and your urgency and your enthusiasm must lead you into areas where you're going to cause some problems. And it's the same old story. Would you want Gary Lineker in the trenches with you, or would you want Vinnie Jones in your trenches with you? You know? Because at the end of the day, you know that Vinnie Jones will get out the trench and run towards the enemy. Whereas I think, you know, Gary Lineker would sit in the trench and say, after you.
The authorities have stamped out the worst tackles. This awful challenge by Bobby Collins on Jerry Byrne in the 1965 FA Cup final would never be tolerated today. But challenges on the goalkeepers have been the major change. This incident dominated the 1957 FA Cup final between Manchester United and Aston Villa. Peter McParland is the Villa forward charging in on Ray Wood, the United keeper, and he clearly intends to make contact. Ray Wood suffered a broken cheekbone and McParland received no caution for this disgraceful challenge. In the following year, and at the same place, Bolton's Nat Lofthouse bundled another Manchester United goalkeeper over, this time into the net to score a goal. Harry Gregg is the recipient of another brutal assault as Lofthouse charges in to batter him over the line. It was hardly surprising that as a direct result of the FA Cup finals of 57 and 58, goalkeepers were to become protected. Indeed, by 1968 and the League Cup final, a challenge on goalkeeper Gary Sprake incensed Leeds so much that fighting broke out. And by 1973, in the historic Leeds-Sunderland final, it was made very clear to forwards that deliberate charges on goalkeepers wouldn't be tolerated. Here, Alan Clark clearly follows in on Jim Montgomery after the ball has been collected and is rightly penalised. In the same game, this Lofthouse-like challenge on David Harvey was now definitely illegal, and the rules had been clearly defined to give goalkeepers more protection. Some feel too much. Vinnie Jones, though, feels he has his own style of intimidation to counteract these regulations.
You've got to wind them up. I mean, the verbals are the biggest thing in football at the moment. You know, if you see something in the paper, say like a player's wife's run off with someone or something like that, you always remind them about that. You know, But as they say, it's a funny old game.